Floridians know the cost of hurricane destruction. Last season, we got lucky.
It was wicked.
But luck doesn't protect your home. Fortunately, Storm Smart has dependable custom hurricane protection products. Hurricane screens, accordion shutters, aluminum roll-down shutters, flood mitigation systems. Because protected beats lucky every time. Be safe, be smart, be Storm Smart.
Streaming from the Tampa Bay 28 Weather Center in Studio A, this is Dennis Phillips Live. Brought to you by Storm Smart. Protect every opening of your home.
How you doing, everybody? Did you hear it? New open music. So if you know, you know. If you don't, I'll explain. So we've been doing this show for this music, and they'd be like, okay, fine. And it got to be so annoying that finally our crack staff and promotions just tonight changed the music. So we will see if I get a notification from Meta saying, hey, yeah, you're still copywriting. So we'll see how it plays out. But welcome to Dennis Phillips Live. As you see, we have new opens. We've got some updates for you. And we're going to talk a lot about what's going on in this crazy weather. But more than that, coming up in about 8 minutes, we're going to be talking to Greg Holland from the Straz, the CEO of the Straz. And you guys know me. I'm a big fan of theater, and I'm a big fan of the Straz, have been for 30 years here. And this upcoming season, in my opinion, is the best one I've ever seen. I mean, I was waiting to hear what the new shows were going to be, and I kind of had a feeling that Hamilton was going to make it here, only because it's in Orlando in early October, and I'm like, all right, if it's in Orlando, a lot of times it ends up being in Tampa too, and it did. So we're going to talk to Greg coming up in a minute because there's just so much stuff going on. Just some hellos, check in with y'all. So thank you for yesterday for giving me updates. We did have some hiccups with Facebook for whatever reason. From time to time that does. But tonight we look like we're good, right? We got all our folks here. Stephen in Clearwater, how you doing? Anna Maria, as always, good to see you. Dominique Newport Richie's in the house. And Linda from Palm Harbor, my stomping grounds, good to see you. Yes, Carol, it is 7:30 already. And tomorrow night, we're actually going to have the folks from the Valspar from Innisbrook, which is a huge thing next weekend, the Valspar tournament over at Palm Harbor. So the weather should be glorious. But before we get to that, man, we have got a lot of weather going on, a lot of weather to talk about. Alicia, good to see you. Eric, nice to see you as well. Kelly, good to see you. Home Assassins in the house with Karen. Hollywood, Florida. Julie, good to see you. Leilman also. I mean, we got folks from all over the country. We got folks from all over the world. So why you're in a Florida chat is beyond me from time to time, but we welcome you with open arms. We are glad you're here. Let's go ahead and jump into what's going on with the weather, because there it is. We've got that one little shower, that one little pesky shower going on in northern Pasco County. It's moving south, but it's kind of fizzling out as it does it. So Ginger wants to know any freezes in Brooksville. Now, Ginger, that's an interesting question. I will give you a tease. Maybe on Tuesday of next week, but we'll touch on that coming up in a minute. Right now, it's all about the heat. 79 in Clearwater, 80 in St. Pete, 80 in Tampa. This year, I mean, let's be honest, this winter has been one for the record books in so many ways. We've gone from snow flurries, hard freezes, damaging freezes, unfortunately, to a lot of the farmers in the area, a month ago, 3-4 weeks ago. And now we've literally gone the other way where we've got temperatures in the low 90s. This last weekend, we had the hottest, earliest day that we've ever hit 90 degrees on record. So we've been all over the place. And we got hurricane season coming up. We got El Niños coming up, and a lot of folks have been talking about that. And often when we have an El Niño, it means our hurricane season gets calmer. But we all know that's kind of a misleading stat, because at the end of the day, I don't care if 50 storms form out in the ocean. If they're all out in the ocean, they don't bother anybody. Nobody cares. It was a quiet year. But yet, if you have what would be considered a below average year, like say 1992, our first named storm wasn't until the middle of August. That first named storm was Andrew. So it doesn't necessarily mean how many form are the big numbers that matter. It's if they impact the Bay Area directly. Last year, we had a beautiful year. We had nothing. The year before, we all know what happened with Milton and Helene. So as we get closer to the month of June, we'll be updating you with our hurricane specials. And as always, right here on DPL, you know you're never going to get any better information, any faster, any more accurate than right here. And we will have that for you. Our entire team will be on it as always. So today, we hit 88 in Tampa, 90 in Lakeland, 90 in Zephyr Hills. No report in Plant City because my guess is they're still recuperating from the Strawberry Festival. I don't blame them. That was a very, very successful Strawberry Festival. 90 today in St. Pete, 83 in Sarasota. Right now, Tampa, 80 degrees with west winds coming in at 9 miles an hour. Today, we broke a record in Tampa, 88. The previous record, 87. That was back in 1925. So it just reminds people that, yes, even though we are warmer than normal of late, we still had a lot of heat back 100 years ago, too. It does happen. It is weather. There's a look at the satellite. A few showers moving north to south. Tomorrow, we might see a bit of fog early on in the morning, but otherwise, I think we're looking really nice. So I don't know if I mentioned this, but I am supposed to be live at Thunder Alley on Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening for the Bolts game. The weather may be an issue. Tomorrow we look good. Tomorrow's going to be a day just like today. Highs back around 90, morning lows around 70. But notice what happens by Thursday afternoon. There it is. I mean, if this line continues to look like it's going to come through from 4 to 7 o'clock, my thought is I'll probably not be live at Thunder Alley. One, because I probably need to be here, and two, because I'm not so sure I want to be out in the lightning and thunder anyway. So we'll see. The powers that be sometimes will let me know if I will be someplace or not. But Eric, I do not remember 1925. I was 2 at the time. So I don't quite remember, but yet we do know, you know, I wasn't around to Washington cross the Delaware either, Eric, but I know what happened. So I don't necessarily have to be there. There's a Thursday night at 10 o'clock, the rains come through, and then we're kind of locked into that easterly flow. How many times have you heard me say over the years, and it has been hundreds, if not thousands, we get that classic summertime pattern, right? That east to west flow in the summer. You get our late day storms. Well, usually that's a June, July, and August thing. Now it apparently is a March thing because we're going to have that east to southeast flow this weekend, and that means more rain moving in mid to late afternoon. And that is going to kind of be a thing, I'd say, probably right on into early next week. And then after that, check it out. So look what happens to the temperatures. Boom, right down. Highs upper 80s tomorrow, highs next Tuesday, lower 60s. Wendy Ryan, y'all know, has an affinity for her turtlenecks, and she made me promise that it would be cold enough next week that she could wear a turtleneck. She absolutely can. Heck, there's going to be a snuggle alert. Jules with the update. Bolts are up 1-0. Victor Hedman with the goal. Thank you for the update, Jules. Craig, you're talking about the tornadoes going on in OKC and ones southwest of Chicago. I mean, unfortunately, that is the time of the year. We are now entering tornado season and severe weather season. I don't think that front that moves through here is going to be bringing us a severe weather threat. But it will bring us some showers, and there you see it. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, rain chances at about 40 to 50%. And then early next week, that's when the cold weather comes in. You know, Randy, this is not really an El Nino issue. We're not even in El Nino yet. Again, we've talked about this. We've been in a La Nina. It isn't just you snap your fingers and you say, okay, we are in one pattern to another. what really happens is it's just a transition of water temperature off the coast of South America. When that water is colder than average, it's a La Nina. As it transitions into a warmer stretch or a warmer phase, that becomes El Nino. In between, it's neutral, and we're neutral right now. But it is historically true that a strong El Nino limits the amount of hurricanes that develop in the Atlantic, but it doesn't eliminate them. It just limits them. So we're still going to be looking at storms this season. I have no doubt in my mind there's really no way around it. The question is, will they threaten the west coast of Florida? And that is the big question. So there's a look at your beach forecast tomorrow. Looks great. High temperatures in the upper 70s, morning lows in the upper 60s. And there's the 7-day. Tomorrow, just like today, upper 80s, rain chances slim to none. Thursday, that front comes through, brings us a pretty decent chance of rain in the afternoon, and then some lingering afternoon and evening storms Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then the big change arrives on Tuesday, with afternoon highs only reaching the lower 70s. So when you take a look at what Tampa's looking at over the next couple of days, I mean, we're staying warm. GFS and Euro are now going lower 70s on Tuesday. Some of the models are about 10 degrees cooler. I think that's probably overdoing it. I think upper 60s, low 70s about right. But look at next week. I mentioned the Valspar. Highs in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. Now that is beautiful spring break weather. All right, quickly looking at the rain chances through tomorrow. There is Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock. The line sets up. By 8 o'clock, pretty decent area of rain coming through. So late afternoon, early evening on Thursday, it is going to rain. All right, the rain comes through. But look what happens on Friday. Look at the East Coast. See that rain moving across from east to west? That's a classic summertime pattern. Dry mornings, scattered afternoon showers, and evening showers moving from east to west, and the same setup again on Sunday. So in a nutshell, the way this plays out is highs staying in the upper 80s tomorrow, low to mid 80s over the weekend just because we're going to have more clouds come in with the chance of some showers. And then early next week, that's when things really, really change as we drop into the 60s and 70s for highs. So what we're looking at right now is, you can see, that is a look at the Straz website, and that is a list of the upcoming shows.
I can get there, I think, Dennis.
No, you're not. We're not seeing it, so I was going to let you slide. You got it?
Yep, I'm there, man.
All right. See, we're still showing the. See, I didn't make you. Okay. So Greg Holland's here, the CEO of the Straz, and the reason I took the screen full is because of what just happened. These chairs are super, super high, and what I try to do is I'll like get behind and hold the chair. Like last night, we had the CEO from the HEP. It's a great organization in Pinellas County, and she's a tall woman. She's like 6 foot, but I still stood up and I'm like got behind. I held the chair. But this one, I thought it'd be sly and just take the.
That's so smart.
I did my best. I did my best.
I think it's so smart.
Greg, thank you so much for coming. Again, we've talked about this, and folks, by the way, if you have any questions for Greg, whether it's about programs that they have in the summer for kids, the upcoming season, how you get tickets, individual shows, we're going to cover it all, because I think that's something that's a lot of people are really interested in. I mean, well, here, let's just go ahead and look right now. Let's just go through the website and look at the shows. So now Beetlejuice is this season, right? And that hasn't even shown yet.
Yeah, we still have shows left that go through early summer. We start Alicia Keys' Hell's Kitchen.
Right.
It starts on the 24th, and that runs for 2 weeks. Then, Dennis, we go into Stereophonic, which is a play.
What is that about? I've heard about that.
Yes, it is. It's about a 70s rock band, but it's a play. Okay. But they're in a recording studio, and then they record original music. But it's a play, not a musical. It's
interesting.
Really cool. And the actors are actually playing the instruments. The actors are singing. You got to see it.
Well, you know what? That brings a question to mind. What's the difference for the folks who maybe aren't theater goers? What would be the difference between a musical and a play? Because it seems like if they're playing music, it might be a musical.
To me, a musical is you sing to move the story along.
Okay.
Sound of Music, which we're doing next season.
I saw that. My wife is so excited. That's one of her favorite. And my daughter, my 11-year-old, loves. And matter of fact, I'm driving her to the bus today, and she is singing the doe, a deer, a female deer. So my family can't wait for that. When is that? When is the Sound of Music?
That is.
We'll find it on the website.
Yeah, we'll see it.
Right.
Here's what I know. It's next year.
Okay.
That's what I know.
Well, so the musical moves the story along with song.
Yes, a play with music means it's a play.
Got it.
With lots of speaking. And then occasionally they'll do something like, say it's time to record the song. And they go in and they record it, but it's clearly something they're doing for an album. But I think isn't it the highest Tony winning play ever?
Which one?
Tony nominated, Stereophonic.
Is it really?
Yeah.
When did it come out?
It was last season on Broadway.
Well, so we're looking here at the Buena Vista Social Club, and we've got some video here, and this is Beauty and the Beast. Oh, okay, so this looks like it's a compilation of all of what you have going on.
You know what we did last night? We had this big party at the Straz Center, and we invited our donors and subscribers, and we had performances from shows that are coming next year, and you're seeing some video from it.
Okay, so let's see if we can recognize them.
Yeah,
so
that's Great Gatsby.
Okay, and Betty Boop, right?
Yeah, Boop.
Now, Oh Mary is about Mary Todd Lincoln, right?
Oh Mary is a hilarious comedy for adults.
Okay.
And it's a fictional piece that takes Mary Todd Lincoln and makes her a cabaret singer wannabe. Okay. And so all the comedy is around this Mary Todd Lincoln character trying to be a cabaret singer during the Civil War.
Okay.
And there's a great line where the president says, "Why are you doing this in the middle of the war?" And she looks at him perplexed and says, "What war?" And he has to explain to her what the Civil War is.
Okay.
It's very funny.
Well, so let's go ahead and scroll through. So we've got the Buena Vista. So again, you mentioned there's summer things. This is the current season with Beetlejuice, which is coming up in
June.
In June, okay.
Yeah.
So you got the Buena Vista Social Club, and that's October 6th to 11th. And
do you know this show, Buena Vista?
I don't know that show.
So there is maybe 15 years ago, there was a documentary called Buena Vista Social Club, and it's based around an actual band in Havana, and a singer and the band trying to come together and play again after years and years.
So is it a true story or
It
no?
is. It's a documentary. If you get a chance, see the documentary. It's great. It's streaming. So they've taken it, they've turned it into a Broadway musical. It's amazing with real Cuban band and singers. It's extraordinary. It's perfect for Florida.
Well, I was going to say, the Cuban population locally, I mean, that's got to be a massive draw. It's going to be amazing.
Absolutely. And we worked hard to get it here early.
Okay, so we've got that. And you know what? You can go ahead and scroll too.
Okay,
so
great.
we got Twas the Night Before. So
I could also work and answer emails while I'm here. But so Twas the Night Before is Cirque du Soleil. And it's the first time we've done a Cirque du Soleil theatrical at the Straz Center. And I know I've seen all the tent shows, but I got to see this last year in New York City. Okay. So we're one of the first cities outside of New York to do the piece. We're really excited, and it's for families, 2 weeks, 19 performances.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's a really, really great piece.
Now, I've got a funny story about Death Becomes Her, which is the next one. I saw Death Becomes Her on Broadway last year. And it was hysterical.
Yes.
Really funny. So I'm sitting next to this really attractive blonde woman and her husband, and I was talking to her, and she was from England, all right? And I was just chatting her up before the show started, and I'm like, "What do you do?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm an actress on the West End." And I go, which is, if you're not familiar, the West End is Broadway in England, in London, right? And I said, "Oh, really?" And I said, "Have you done any shows? And any big shows?" And she goes, "Yeah, I did Wicked." And she's this beautiful blonde. So I go, "Oh, you were Glinda." She goes, "No, I was Elphaba."
Yeah, just a wig.
Yeah, which is the wig and the green face and everything. But it was really cool. And so we saw Death Becomes Her, and it was a really, really funny show. So that's something I can give a thumbs up to as well. And there was a movie. They made a movie out of it as well.
Yeah, with Meryl Streep.
Right, which was really funny. So, okay, so then we got The Great Gatsby coming up.
And by the way, there's 2 Great Gatsby musicals right now. And this was the first one to get to Broadway. And everyone thought, well, we don't know if it's going to work. And it's a huge hit. And I would tell you, scenically and musically, it's the most spectacularly huge, glittering show I've seen in 20 years on Broadway.
And it makes sense that it should be.
Well, it has to be,
right.
yeah.
That's the show and the era. And I actually just watched the movie a couple of weeks ago with Tobey Maguire, and Leonardo DiCaprio, which I wasn't that thrilled with the movie, but but I've heard the play is exceptional. Well, the musical is exceptional. Now, okay, Wicked comes up February 3rd to 28th. That is my guilty pleasure. I'm the first to admit it. I became a fan of the theater, seeing Wicked at the Straz with Stephanie Block.
Yes.
And if you're not familiar with Wicked, you have to be. Look, you have to be familiar with Wicked. If you're not, you got to get from under that rock. But at the end of the day, it's been around for, I don't remember when it came out.
I can tell you when it came out.
Because you had a story about it.
Yeah. So Wicked had its pre-Broadway run in spring-summer of 2003. And I was in San Francisco. I was CEO of a commercial live entertainment company at the time. And so me being at the Straz Center for 3 years is my first not-for-profit executive position, which is probably why you're seeing me struggle right now. But so I come from commercial live entertainment. We did the world premiere in San Francisco, and then fall of 2003, that production moved into the Gershwin Theater on Broadway, and that's it. And here's my cool story. Our offices were about 3 blocks away at another theater. The producers called us and said, hey, we're gonna run the Act 1 finale. It's called Defying Gravity. Come over so you can see it. And we'd only heard the music played on a piano quickly. So, that's—
Who was singing it? Was it Adina or was it Stephanie?
Stephen Schwartz was the composer.
Right.
He sang it to us. He was like, and then there's gonna be this song. So Stephen Schwartz.
Cool.
Yeah, but he didn't sound like Adina. So we came over and Adina walked up and she was like, look at me. And I turned around and she was painted green for the first time. And I was like, wow, that's what the green's gonna look like? And she said, I think so. I mean, we were really at that point in the show. And so they were like, we're gonna run Defying Gravity. And off she goes and off the chorus goes. And they're playing it on a piano, no orchestra yet, because you don't bring the orchestra until, almost when audiences get there. And so they're playing it, and there she goes. She flies in that magical way they fly that we can't talk about. And it was amazing, and I was in tears, and I was like, I'd read the novel on a beach 5 years before, and I thought, what can this be, this musical? And it is basically what we're all seeing now. Really great experience.
That's a great story.
Yeah, I love it.
And what's interesting, too, is it was based on a book, and the ending of the book is completely different than the ending of the play. And I won't give it away, even though everybody should already know what happens. But, and I'll give you a hot take. I love Adina. But in my opinion, I thought Stephanie hit that note better than Adina could. And that is just my hot take on that, because, and she was, maybe it's the first one that I ever saw, but there's another person, Carrie Ellis.
Okay.
So she played Elphaba in England. Okay. And she has a rock version of Defying Gravity, where she plays along with the lead guitarist from Queen. And if you've never heard it, go on YouTube and play this. Just type in Carrie Ellis Defying Gravity. It is killer. It is, and it's a rock version of Defying Gravity. So
I'll do it tonight.
You should. It's so good.
And I've seen so many Elphabas because we did that. The show, we had our own production later in San Francisco that ran for a couple of years. So we had a lot of Glendas, a lot of Elphabas. We had Carol Kane playing Miss Marable at one point. We had Patty Duke playing Miss Marable at another point. I mean, just cool stuff. Yeah. Every person who went into the show brought something so special and interesting that for those of us who do this for a living, every time we see someone, we're like, oh, now that's my favorite. Yeah. Oh, now that, we're so fortunate that we get to see all this happen.
It's funny you said, by the way, this is exactly how I thought it would go. We're just talking because I knew that, because you guys know how much I love this stuff. But a couple of things. So first of all, we had Carrie Ellis on DPL one time.
That's cool.
Which was and it was really awesome because I literally just messaged her, hey, I'm a big fan, and she came on the show. So the one other thing, what was I going to say? It was of course about Wicked. I can't remember, but we got to get going anyway because Paul's like, I got to get home. But
he's not even had dinner.
We do have a lot more to talk about. So anyway, so we have Wicked February 3rd to 28th. And then we have The Sound of Music, which, again, my family will be crazy about that one. That is March 9th through 14th. Is that a national touring cast? Is that how that works?
It is. And in fact, we had the Maria on stage last night at the Straz Center for this event we had to announce the season.
Oh, nice.
She's extraordinary. And she performed, you have a story about this, she performed with kids from the Patel Conservatory, our accredited school that has summer camps.
It is amazing.
And you have a daughter
yes.
that's done this.
Yeah, my daughter Ryan, and y'all, most everybody I would think knows Ryan because we've had her on the show, and she loves the spotlight. So last summer, she did a week-long program, and it was for ages, I think she was one of the younger ones. I think it might have been like 10 through 16 or something, but they have younger ones as well.
Yes.
And if you have a child who is interested in the arts and it's a camp, but it's not just a camp where you throw the kids there and you get them out of your hair for a week. These are high-end performance camps.
They are.
I mean, they were giving her tips that she still used. She sang the national anthem at the Threshers game, actually one of the nights that she was doing it, and they helped her, they gave her some feedback, and it was just, so if you have kids who are interested in the theater arts, and there's lots of camps and lots of programs, but I cannot stress how great the Straz camps are. And there's a lot of them, but I know that they fill up fast. So whenever they do start to make them available to sign up.
They're ready now for this coming summer.
Okay, really?
Yes.
All right, well then if that's the case, and they just go on the website, right?
StrazCenter.org.
Well, look, it's right here, Patel Conservatory.
Yeah.
So you
just hit that
click
button
on Patel Conservatory
and you'll see it. Yep.
Oh, here, let's go ahead. And then once you're on
you think I'd know how to use our own website, wouldn't you?
Well, here's about the conservatory: dance, theater, music, and everything, and auditions and whatnot. So yeah, it really is. It's an amazing group for kids. So let's go back to where we were though. So let's finish up what you have coming up the upcoming season.
Yeah.
So
I can get us there.
You want to get it? Okay.
Yeah. I can get us there a little faster. But you're great at it though.
Yeah,
I would tell you, but.
Okay, so we got through Sound of Music coming up. There you go. And then we've got Boop the Musical.
Yeah, and this was the other musical last year on Broadway that I thought this could be my favorite musical this year. And so I'm glad we're doing it. It takes the character Betty Boop, but she goes on sort of the journey that Barbie in the movie does.
Oh, that's cool.
With this, what does it mean to be a woman and how are you viewed? So that's great. And then we do Disney's Beauty and the Beast, which
classic.
Paul just told me we haven't done in like 15, 20 years.
I was at the last time I was here.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
Obviously it is a family-friendly show. I mean, it's, now, and my question to you on all of the, well, then you have Hamilton and you have that's not part of the season tickets, right? Those are separate.
Yes,
purchases.
we talked about O'Mary. It's off subscription.
Okay.
It's off subscription because it really is for adult audiences, and we want to make sure people are making that adult choice to see it, worth seeing. We have Hamilton as an encore. It's off subscription. And I've forgotten what the other, Jersey Boys.
Oh, yeah, Jersey Boys. I've seen that a ton of times. It's such a great show as well. So they can go to the website, and they can either they can subscribe for the season,
yes,
right? Or they can get the individual.
Yes, that will start in the summer.
In the summer.
The ability to purchase individual tickets will start around July.
Okay, so streamers, we're done. We're going to continue on socials for a few more minutes. We got a few more things to talk about. But again, thank you so much for coming. Appreciate it. And we'll see you on tomorrow night's edition of Dennis Phillips Live. Okay, streamers are out. We're still hot on YouTube. We're still hot on socials and broadcast. Okay, when do the Hamilton tickets go on sale for the general population?
Hamilton tickets will go on sale in that early July time period.
Okay, early July.
Yeah, subscribers now, as they buy subscriptions, can add that onto their subscription. But if you just want to see Hamilton, you wait till about July and it'll go on sale.
Let's talk a little bit about the subscriptions and the season tickets.
Yeah.
So what are the advantages of becoming a season ticket holder for the Straz?
For one price, you get 9 shows. Even though we're talking about 12, you get 9 shows that take us, starts with Buena Vista Social Club, ends in June with Operation Mincemeat. And you can exchange between performances inside of any show. So if you're going on Tuesday night and you can't go on Tuesday, move your ticket to Thursday.
Okay.
And you can also one-time change between productions. You don't want to see Operation Mincemeat, you can move it to Boop. So those are the big advantages. You always know when you're going to the theater. If you want a date night that's planned almost every month, it's baked in.
Right.
Sometimes there's a bit of a discount depending on the performance you're going into, and then you're invited to buy tickets for new shows earlier, and the next year you can subscribe again for the same seats.
Same seats,
yeah.
right.
Lots of advantages to it, and there's a payment plan, which if I was subscribing, I would use the payment plan.
Yeah, I mean, look, anything these days are a little pricey, and I mean, but I will tell you, having gone and seen shows on Broadway, and you know, the experience, we saw Anne Juliet and loved it, by the way.
Isn't it
My
just
daughter
the best?
Loved it, and
yeah.
Yet again, I will admit this, I like the Backstreet Boys. I know, whatever. And that show has a ton of Backstreet Boys music, and that is that genre, Britney and all of that. And anyway, we saw that a couple of weeks ago, but there's definitely, I mean, look, you can get orchestra, and if you have the ability to do so, you can go. But there's some great seats. There's not a bad seat in the house, whether it's the balcony or the mezzanine or wherever you're going.
It's true in Morsani Hall. That's actually true. And you know, in a former life, when I was in New York, I worked with the now Straz Center, and my predecessor, Judy Lisi, was my contact. Okay. So I've known her for 30 years. So I've done a lot of shows over a lot of years in Tampa at the Straz Center. And I always think Morsani Hall, it used to be called Festival Hall when I first worked with it. Now it's the Carol Morsani Hall, is one of the best performing arts center theaters in North America.
Yeah, I sat, well, when I was at Juliet, we were up in the way back part of the mezzanine balcony area, and you hear everything clearly, and that's the thing about Broadway. Sometimes you don't.
Correct.
You know, and if you're over on the side, sometimes there's obstructed view and whatnot. I mean, I don't know. I've just always been a fan, and again, the sound is so exceptional. You know, I'm going to ask you, I've never thought this before. You know the seats that are right there in the mezzanine area on the side, like a little private box?
Yeah, those are boxes.
I've always wondered about those. Like, are those the most expensive seats in the house?
They are luxury boxes that corporations and some individuals buy, and there's catering. But where you sit, I would just are actually, for me, the best place to sit. I think upstairs, being able to look down on the stage is the best in most theaters, in my opinion.
Right.
Is you sit in the mezzanine or the front of the balcony, and the tickets are often a little less expensive in those places. But it's not because of that. It's just that if you're watching a musical, you can see the floor and the dancing perfectly. You can hear everything perfectly. You have a wider view of the stage. So if I'm buying tickets, that's where I sit.
There's one other show I forgot to mention, and my daughter would chastise me severely. So my 11-year-old, her favorite show right now is Six. And we saw it on Broadway 2 or 3 months ago.
Yep.
And it's coming to the Straz. And and it's such an interesting story because the two people who wrote it, I believe, were college students at the time when they wrote it. I think they were at Columbia University, somewhere up in the New York area. And they were just college students, and they wrote, it's about the wives of Henry VIII.
That's right.
And it is a spectacular show. It is funny. Now, the subject matter is a little racy, a little bit, but there were kids in Broadway. There were kids at the show. My daughter's 11, and you know she knows every line of every, you know, and I get it, but I cannot recommend that one enough. So, and that's coming.
That's coming in April of this year.
Yeah.
So it's. You saw me look over to make sure that was right.
So
did you see that?
I did. So, and Paul, you should come over and say hi, Paul. Paul, how long have you been working at the Straz?
Just celebrated my 20th anniversary.
Yeah, 20 years. And Paul's the guy, like whenever we have a question, and now there's others, and Natasha, and and other folks as well. But he's the OG. He has been there forever. And every year, I don't know if you do it anymore, but every year, see, I feel like a stalker, because every year he goes to New York and does this tour of all these shows. And it's awesome. And it's actually how I get an idea of what shows I want to see, because I figured he wouldn't want to go to a bad show.
And well, it's also a job. So we have to see them all. So
twist your arm, right?
Well, again, we're not digging ditches.
Yeah.
But, they run the gamut from amazing to not. So, but we watch them all. It's actually a glorious thing to do for a living. And then we curate from those shows what comes to Tampa to the Straz Center.
Got it.
It's a really amazing thing that we get to do. And 6 is a cool show.
And it's not a long, there's no intermission.
90 minutes.
Yeah, 90 minutes. And it's just one song after another. And it's, now, I don't know if you can make it happen, but I would really be my daughter's hero if we could get somebody from 6 on DPL at some point when they're, I don't know, I mean, if that could happen, because, I mean, I would be the greatest dad ever.
Paul just committed.
Okay.
I don't know how he's going to do that.
That would, and I guarantee you, Ryan would be here as well, my daughter, and she has hosted DPL before, so the girl would, it would be awesome. So anyway, I look forward to that. So, all right, so let's recap here. This is great. I could sit here and clearly we could talk about this for hours, because I'm sure you've got so many stories that you could share too. And I'm a story guy, as you guys know. But so the new season, the 26-27 ticket season, it is on sale, right?
It is right now, yes.
Go to the website and you pick what day it is that you're looking for, correct? And the prices will vary depending on what day you pick.
And what section you pick.
Right. And I guess, you could do matinees, I suppose, too.
Absolutely. There's 8 performances a week, 6 evenings, 2 matinees, Saturdays and Sundays. For shows like 'Twas the Night Before, there are midweek matinees. So lots of options to attend. There's a payment plan for every price level, which makes it really accessible. And the best thing I think about it, and you love attending Broadway shows, but in Tampa, is wear what you like, come in, enjoy the show. There's no barrier to it. Sometimes people will say to me, what do I wear? You know what, it just, I kind of say, if you're gonna go visit grandma or go to church, that's a good choice, but that's even fancy.
Yeah, it used to be a thing, even in New York.
Yeah.
When you go to Broadway shows now, people just don't get dressed up like they used to.
That's right.
They just don't. And that makes me a little sad. I'll be honest, it does make me a little sad. But I mean, in Florida, I get it, because look, we're all about casual, we're all about comfort.
And it's hot.
Yes, so I get it. People come to shows in something casual. I mean, I've seen them in nice shorts. I've seen them, I do. But Broadway, you still see people. Seeing people in jeans and a T-shirt still makes me a little, I don't know why. There's just something about Broadway that I hold up another level. But and I'll also tell you about season tickets. I had them for several years. Our schedule with 6 kids made it impossible for us we kept having to miss shows. So we ended up letting go our season tickets, which I was really sad about. But it is really awesome, like you said, for a date night thing.
That's right.
Because on that Saturday, and we had ours on Sunday evening, that every month or every 6 weeks, you're gonna have a really fun date night.
That's right.
And with Mother's Day coming up and with things like that, it makes a really good present to surprise the wife. Or Father's Day, I guess, too, in June. But it is always so enjoyable, and the volunteers there are great.
They're the best. There's 700 volunteers at the Straz Center.
And they take so much pride in it. So
yes.
I don't know if you were here, and I still don't know how it happened. They had an evening with Dennis Phillips at the Straz a couple of years ago. And what theater was it in? It was in the Ferguson, right? And I just remember and I was nervous. And I don't normally get nervous doing stuff, but I was so out of my lane.
I know the feeling.
You know, I mean, you're on stage and you're just talking, and you got all these people looking at you, and there was just something outside of normally when I'm talking, and it never bothers me, but I just remember how awesome all the volunteers were, because they were so supportive and they loved what they do, and I really enjoyed it.
And they're well trained. You know, they have to go through pretty extensive training to be a volunteer. You have to be background checked, all this stuff happens. So we have 800 staff members. So there's a lot of people making things happen. It's 1,400. And the other thing people don't know, Dennis, is that we're also a not-for-profit. So with our education programs, we have community programs where we send artists free of charge to community centers and schools. And we reach 80,000 people throughout Tampa Bay every year off campus, and all of that's provided free of charge. There's so many great things, military veterans programs, arts and health and arts and healing. You know, I love talking about Broadway because you and I are fans and we love it. But what I really get to do all day is also focus on working at a community service performing arts organization and looking at how we reach people, how we change lives, and then we take a minute, eat a sandwich, and go to a great Broadway show.
That's awesome.
It's great.
Well, thank you so much. Again, the website, you can subscribe for the upcoming season. Keep an eye out when tickets become available for Hamilton.
That's right. July is a good time to look for all of that.
Okay,
That's right.
And I'll say it again. If you're looking for a camp for your child this summer, my daughter will be there, and it's a really great experience. And not even for kids who really aren't necessarily just theater kids. Maybe somebody who's just kind of testing the waters.
That's right.
And see if they kind of like what they have to see. And that's kind of what my daughter did, and she fell in love with it. So again, guys, thank you very much for stopping by. Greg, thank you
thank you.
much for
I
coming by.
really enjoyed it.
It was a great time. Hopefully we will see you guys again soon. Have a great night, and we'll see you on tomorrow night's edition of Dennis Phillips Live. See you guys.